Hi, it's me, Jazzy. I'm back with another tech-related video, and today I'm taking a look at a nice little electronics kit. This is a great little kit for beginners and experts alike, and it's an FM radio kit that I found on Amazon. But before we get to the kit, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's been tuning in and hitting the subscribe button. We've just hit 10,000 subscribers on the channel, and that makes me really happy. That's really pleasing. I'm really glad so many of you are enjoying tuning in and watching my videos. I thought you might enjoy to put together a nice little electronics kit with me, and this looks a nice little kit. So let's get it over on the bench and take a closer look at what we've got. Right, here we go. We got ourselves an FM radio kit which rattles. I'm not quite sure it's supposed to make that noise. I'm hoping that's just some loose bits rattling around and nothing too detrimental. Let's have a look. Right. Okay, there's our case. Oh, look, you mean I don't have to assemble the case? Oh, that's an absolute winner. That's just the stuff rattling around in the case, that's all it was. Oh, I'm super happy. Look, I haven't got to peel anything off that. I haven't got to put that together. It's already there for me. I'm loving this kit already. This is great. And we've got instructions. It's a whole new world. Now, this kit is supposedly a fun kit to put together. It's a good kit for beginners and experienced electronics enthusiasts alike. So, here we go. This is the upgraded radio production kit. Nice. I like an upgrade. Do like an upgrade. Right, so we've got some displays here and some ICs and our bag of components and those lovely blue resistors that I love that I can't see the color codes on. And we've got a telescopic aerial. Nice. USB-A to micro USB. Not my favorite, but oh, okay. All right, I prefer a USB-C myself. We've got a little small slim profile speaker which is not smushed at all like the boombox kit that we had. We've got a very snazzy jazzy purple PCB. Look at this, FM radio version 5.0. Wow, that does look rather smart, doesn't it? You don't often see a purple PCB. Right, we've got instructions here. So this is the upgraded radio production kit, and we've got multilingual instructions, which is great. Love that. So we've got a little schematic over here and a layout here. This is nice. USB interface cannot be powered on the same time as the battery. You need to choose one or the other. Yes, so you can run it off the USB. I remember reading this somewhere that you can also run it. There is a battery holder somewhere. Oh, it's in there. It's built into the case. Oh, that's convenient. So yeah, you can run it off battery if you're going out and about, or you can run it off USB, or just take a power bank with you, I guess. So we got some nice photographic instructions here, step by step, and this makes perfect sense because we're doing the low profile stuff first. So we're doing the chip and the radio module, the USB socket, resistors, and so on and so on. Right, let's just jump straight in, shall we? Enough of me waffling on about the kit. Let's get the kit put together. So, PCB holder. As always, I will put links in the video description to all the bits and bobs that I use, which just make life a bit easier. I don't get commission on any of this stuff. I just think it's nice to share with others when you've got something that just makes your life that bit easier. Let's tip all the bits out. Right, there we go. So we've got various resistors here. Are they labelled? They are. 1K resistor, 510 ohms. It's nice that they're labelled. And we've got two 10K resistors. Well, that's appropriate seeing as we've just hit 10K subscribers. Yes, thank you very much to everyone that's subscribed to the channel. It makes me happy that so many people want to tune in to see my ramblings, and if any of my videos have been of help or instructional, then that pleases me greatly. So we've got a nice 7-segment display there. We've got a couple of ICs. This is another STC one. We saw an STC IC, didn't we, in the Bluetooth boombox kit. Unfortunately, did have one smushed speaker, but I have obtained a replacement speaker for that, so I will be replacing the smushed one with one that's the right shape. So we've got some wires, we've got our, this is our FM module. I think that's actually the first thing we need to put on, so let's keep that handy. We've got various switches here, and we've got a couple of electrolytics, and only one LED. Oh, happy days compared to that last kit. Alright, so first thing first then, let's get this FM module in. And the AM1117, which is this one here that's upside down. Now, does it tell me which way around it goes? Yes, it does. What I generally like to do with a board like this is just give it a little wipe over with a bit of isopropyl alcohol, just in case there's any residue or grease or anything from any fingerprints or anything on the board that may or may not affect your soldering. It's just a belt and braces approach. Most boards are okay, but yeah, there's not much on that one. What I'll do is I'm going to put a tiny amount of flux on here, because what that'll do is it'll stick it to the board while I'm working on it. Let's pop that on. That's that flux. It's probably putting the camera out of focus. See what, if anyone's got a new line of fume extractor that they want me to check out, hit me up. I think I could do with a better one. I've got this little one here, it's Yahoo. It's a 948DQ3, and it's just a little square one. I mean, it's alright, but I could definitely do with something a bit more powerful. I do an awful lot of soldering here. Right, I think we're good on that. Okay, now we've got a little chip to go in, haven't we? Which goes there. That's U10. Again, I'm going to use a bit of flux. It will stop the component from moving around. The board is very nicely marked out. Big fan of this kit already, because you can easily see where this is going to go. Alright, I reckon that's pretty good going. Now it tells me to put the USB socket on, which is going to go down here. So if I can slither this down a little bit in the PCB holder. Now, where is the USB socket? That's a very good point. Is it here? So that just sits in there. 2 points to solder. I always like a good strong solder joint on things like a USB socket, because you're going to be plugging stuff in and out of that. Now, is there, yeah, there is provision for me to solder onto the bottom of that as well, so let's do that. Let's just do those 2 points as well, because we want a nice strong joint on this one. Plugging it in and unplugging it, and we don't want a saggy USB socket, do we? Okay, so what's next? Resistors are next. So we've got 3 lots of resistors here, 1K, 10K and 510 ohms. Right, so the 10K is R16, and we should have 1, but they've given us 2. It's rather nice of them. So R16 for the 10K resistors. Right, okay, let's check this 10K resistor. Right, 9.673K ohms, close enough. R16 is here. Okay, then we've got our 1K resistors. It says we should have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we've got 6. They like to give us extra ones. We like that. Might be useful. So, yeah, 988.6. Lovely. So, these are, that's R2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right, so there's R2, R3, R4. Here's R5, R6 is over here. Right, let's get these soldered in. Again, you don't have to solder in so many at once. The downside to doing this many at once is you tend to get legs getting in the way of other legs. This is quite a nice little kit, actually. I'm quite surprised I haven't done a little radio so far. We've done a few boom boxes. Seems to be a running theme. Bluetooth boom boxes. Right, okay, next to go in will be the 510 ohm resistors, and we have got, how many of these? 8 to put in. We've got a 9, we've got a bonus resistor, so that leaves us, actually, we've got one of each value spare now. That's rather handy. What I tend to do when they come on strips like this is I just snip them off, because we don't need that much length on the legs anyway. And it saves dealing with the sticky residue that you get on the end of the legs from these strips that they're stuck to. Another thing I tend to use that is rather handy, which is normally out of shot, is just one of these multi-compartment boxes. So any spare bits that I get from kits, I put in there, and that way if I'm building a kit, then I know I've got spare bits and bobs, and that is literally just bits from kits that I keep in that particular box. I have other ones for other things, but if I've got bits left over, that means if I'm building a kit and it's got a part missing, chances are I might have something suitable in that box. So let's get all these 510 resistors in. I'm always on the lookout for cheap and interesting little kits for the channel. So if you've got any suggestions for a kit you'd like to see me build, hit me up in the comments below and let me know. I seem to recall somebody did ask me about doing a Tesla coil, but I've not been able to find one which looks cool enough and isn't mega money. I don't have a massive budget, so I tend to look for kits that are good value. Right, there we go. Now we've got a 1 microfarad electrolytic capacitor. So it tells me that I have to weld it and bend it. So it's going to have a bit of a lay down, I suppose that's so it fits in the case. And that is a 1 microfarad. Alright, yeah, we're good. Okay, so this is the one that goes in here, and as always, the long leg positive. So what I'm going to do, because this one's got to have a lay down, I'm going to bend it before I solder it, so you don't put too much stress. We don't want to stress our capacitor, that would be bad. Now we're going to get the IC socket in. Oh, we've got 2 to put in. Yeah, we have. Alright, we've got an 8 pin and a 16 pin, which are here on this little bit of foam. Not quite anti-static foam, but I tell you what, look, the legs aren't bent on this. Look at that. Yeah, now there's a quality kit, look. Perfect. I won't even need the IC leg straightener for this one. See, I haven't, look, they just sit straight in. Happy with that. There are multiple different ways you can tackle soldering in an IC socket. I tend to favour just putting a finger on it and tack the corners. You can sit the board upside down on your bench and do it, or you can sit it on something that will give you the height you need if you've got other components on there. So sometimes you just need to position stuff just so you can work on it. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you can get to what you need to solder. That is our IC sockets in. Beautiful. Right, now we've got 1 LED to put in. Only one. Only one, not hundreds this time. Brilliant. Love that. Where does that go then? That goes in D1. Oh, there it is. Alright, and as always, the long leg positive. Nicely marked on this board. We've got no worries on this board at all. Right, what's next? Toggle switch and audio jack. Right, now we are going to need to take this out of the PCB holder. So we've got a toggle switch and an audio jack to go in next. So here's our audio jack, goes here. Nice, 3.5mm jack. And we've got a little toggle switch goes in here. Right, this time I can just sit the board on the flat. Anything involving a switch or a socket, it's always wise to make sure you get a really good solder joint on it, because you're constantly going to be putting pressure on those solder joints. Every time you flick that switch, that looks fine to me. toggle switch. It's coming together quite nicely, isn't it? Right, so we have 4 clicky switches, which are here, and these are going to go here. Fantastic. Right, now we are going to need to go back to the PCB holder here. And I'm just going to hope that they're going to behave and be a tight enough fit in the PCB that I can flip it over without them all falling out. Loose-ish. Right, okay, I think I'm going to go one at a time then on these. One more switch to go. Now we've got 4 ceramic capacitors in. What I will note is I've actually skipped a header line somehow on the instructions there, and I've put these in before I should have done, but to be fair, they're not going to be in my way, so it doesn't really matter to any extent. We've got 4 little ceramic capacitors to go in, so let's get those in. Alright, that's those in, and what's next? We've got a 200k potentiometer, which is this little blue one here, and this goes, right here I think, R1, yes it does. That can only go in one way round. That's it, that's in. Right, there we go. What is next? 100 microfarad electrolytic capacitors. There is 4 of those, and they are all 100 microfarads, so let's have those. This particular board has plus and minus marked on it, which makes life easier. And one there. Nice. Okay, let's get these electrolytics soldered in. Now, 7-segment display, or as it's described here, digital tubes. Not Nixie then. Actually, I've seen a couple of Nixie kits. Quite tempted. I've not done anything with Nixie tubes yet. So obviously pay attention that you've got this in the right way up. You can tell from the little decimal points there. Just slot in nicely. Yes, it does. Look at that. That is beautiful, isn't it? See, now I'm supposed to solder the switches in after I've done that. But I jumped ahead a little bit there, but that's fine. It just shows creativity and initiative. That's what I always say. It's not necessarily that I've done it wrong, it's that I've had a moment of creativity. There we go. Now that's tacked in, I can just go along the line because I know it's going to sit flat. That is our 7-segment display in, and I think we're nearly there. Well, it's telling me now to secure the aerial, the radio antennae, I should say. This goes on the back of the board, doesn't it? This goes here like this. Okay, so this goes through here. One little nut on the back. Lovely. Okay, now a bit of solder on there. Yep, to stop that from moving about. Now it's in there, it's going nowhere. Right, so I'm going to solder it to the pad, because this is obviously, the aerial generally takes quite a lot of abuse, doesn't it? As you're whipping it around trying to find your stations. Okay, that's good in, oh, hot. Okay, that's good enough. Right, we have our radio antenna. Now I think we're there with the board. This can come out of the PCB holder now. It's looking lovely, looks like a radio, kind of. Or just stick an aerial on anything and it'll look kind of like a radio, I guess. Right, what's next then on my list of things? We're going to put the ICs in. Okay, just look for the little indent. If it was anything static sensitive, I would make sure I have my anti-static wristband on, but seeing as they've just chucked them in a normal bit of foam, not anti-static. Now we have some finagling to do with the case. Right, let's have a look here. Right, this is our battery contacts, battery compartment. Oh, and a tiny, tiny little screwdriver. How convenient. Now, it does give you in the instructions good details here on how to fit the battery terminals. I think they just slot in. So the spring's got to go there. That's convenient. And we've got a single one here. There we go. We just got to make sure we get the orientation right. Basically, if you've got a spring there, you don't want a spring there, and vice versa. I'm liking this kit. So we've got our battery wire to solder on. Let's move these screws before I lose them. We've got 4 strands of wire here. Now 2 of them are for the speaker and 2 are for the batteries. Now it gives you 2 little pads here, and it does say bat plus and minus, so that is where we're going to solder to. So I'm firstly going to tin the pads and tin the wires, and then we're going to be good. Now we're going to attach that to our battery contact here. So we want one end to go there, so again it's a good idea to pre-tin this piece. So our positive's going to go there and our negative's going to go there. Alright, so give myself enough wiggle room here. Awesome, okay, that's done then. Now I believe we need to wire up our speaker, which is our little flat speaker here. It is labelled plus and minus there, and we can go on the pad there. Let's put some solder on these pads. Scrapmag time. So there you go, plus and minus is labelled on there for you. They've done a good job of labelling this kit. This is a very beginner friendly kit. If you've never built a kit before, but you've been thinking about it, and you've been watching some of my kit builds thinking, how on earth am I going to do that? This is a great one to start on because the instructions are great. It's not that complicated to build, and it's so well labelled up. Now this appears to just, literally just clips in. This is an 8 ohm, 0.5 watt speaker, in case you are wondering. Yeah, this is it. We're there. We just got to install this in the casing now. That just sits on there, making sure we haven't trapped any wiring around the back. I'm quite happy enough with this. So all we have to do now is screw it together. Right, looks like these go in through the back. That's why they've given you a long, thin, tiny screwdriver. So you can get right down inside that standoff. Now that's very clever. I did think, why did they bother providing me such a tiny screwdriver? Because I would have no luck getting my regular screwdriver in there. I'm just going to power it off USB for this test because I don't have 3 AAAs to hand, I don't think. Well, there we go. Does look like a radio. Okay, so I need a, here we go, 5-volt USB connection. Hey.
Next.
Oh, there we go. Where's the volume? Oh, here. Oh, so we've got volume up. Oh, there you go. Volume down. And this must be frequency. Oh, there we go. If you want to build yourself a small transparent radio, this could be the kit for you. Quite easy to put together. It's very beginner friendly. The board is well labelled. It looks cool. I like the purple PCB. That's very cool. It's not going to have the functionality that you'd get with a ready-built radio, but you've got the fun of building it. There you go. I've turned my other filming light off there so you can see the display a little bit better. But yeah, that's nice. There we go. A little bit of classical music for you. It does actually go quite loud. What does it go up to? 15. Okay, well, it doesn't pick up a lot, but then there's a lot of interference here in the studio. There's a lot of electrical stuff running around me. I'm amazed it picks up any stations at all. I struggle in here with my good radios to pick stuff up, so it's doing all right. For a little kit, it's fine. It goes nice and loud. It'll pick up a few radio stations, and it's a bit of fun, and it looks cool. And you can run it off batteries if you want to as well. As far as enjoyable beginner electronics kits goes, I think this is a winner. Well, there you go. Build your own little FM radio from a kit from Amazon. It wasn't very much money, and it's a nice easy kit to put together. I like the good instructions, and I like the fact that the board is well marked out, and also being purple, it's kind of funky. So yeah, it does pick up a few stations. It goes reasonably loud and does what you'd expect from a basic FM radio. So if you're looking for an easy kit to get yourself started in the world of electronics kits, or you're just looking for a kit to put together to relax of an evening, I reckon this is pretty cool. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today, taking a look at this little FM radio electronics kit. And once again, a massive thanks to everyone that's been watching and got us past 10,000 subscribers. That really does mean a lot to me. If you're watching and you do want to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, it's always massively appreciated and helps to support the channel. I'll be back soon with some more tech related videos, but in the meantime, take care and I'll see you on the next one.